one of those hairstylists that's just like hustle, hustle, hustle. And I know we all know barbers, hair professionals, braiders, we know people like that, right? So when she came to me and she was just like, I need to file taxes. And I was just like, what are you trying to do? What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Hair CEO, where we work on our business and not just in our business. So we're still in the 8-part series for business taxes, specifically for self-employed or business owners who are in the hair industry. So I'm talking about my barbers, my braiders, and my hairstylists. And the first week we talked about who is required to file taxes and if you are exempt, if this is your first year in business or even your second year in business. In week 2, we talked about the differences between business taxes and personal taxes. So if you missed any one of those episodes, I encourage you to go back and take a look. Today, we're going to be talking about what you need to file back taxes. Before we get started, I do want to let you know this is a judgment-free zone. I know when it's you may feel like, oh my gosh, I'm the only person in the world who hasn't filed taxes, but no, you're not. And as a matter of fact, the whole reason I came up with this idea to talk about this is because I was talking to a hairstylist that now owns a salon, but she used to work for me. And, I came in and she was just like, Jen, I'm so glad you're here. I need to file back taxes. And I'm just like, whoa, what are you even talking about? Because typically when people tell me they need to file back taxes, especially her, because I love her, but she is so unorganized and I've never even heard her talk about taxes. I haven't heard her talk about business, anything. She's just one of those hairstylists that's just like hustle, hustle, hustle. And I know we all know barbers, hair professionals, braiders, we know people like that, right? So when she came to me and she was just like, I need to file taxes. And I was just like, what are you trying to do? People typically, you'll find that they are wanting to file back taxes for one of 3 reasons. One, they're trying to get qualified for something or approved for something and they realize that they need tax returns. The second reason is that maybe they found out that they may be entitled to a credit or some type of refund. Or third, they got a letter from the IRS saying, hey, you need to file taxes. So that's what I find as the 3 main reasons that people will come in and file multiple years back to back. So let's talk about what that means. Because when I was talking to the hairstylist that I went to go visit, she immediately said to me, she was like, Jennifer, I need you to file my taxes. And she was like, okay, you're gonna do it, like you're gonna do it tomorrow? And I was just like, what do you even think is involved in filing taxes? Because it's not like a sheet of paper that you submit on someone else's behalf. And she was like, well, what do you need? So that's what I'm going to break down today. What do you need to file back taxes when you are a hairstylist, barber, or a braider? So the first thing that you want to make sure of is that you want to make sure that you don't have any other sources of income. So this may be unemployment. This may be you work a part-time job somewhere else. Maybe you are a W-2 employee somewhere part-time or maybe even full-time and you're doing hair part-time. Any other source of income, you want to make sure that you capture that before you even get started with filing back taxes and capturing the money that you made from barbering, braiding, or styling hair. And if you're going further back than, let's say, last year, the prior year, this may require you to investigate a little bit on what other forms of income you had, because I've seen it happen. People will forget. I remember talking to a barber once and I was just like, hey, what sources of income that you have? And he was like, oh, I was only cutting hair. I was only barbering. I was like, okay, well, you know what? Just to be on the safe side, let's go to the IRS's website. My thing is, I want to know what the IRS knows. I don't want to file anything without first seeing what the IRS knows about me. So I was like, let's just be on the safe side. Let's hit up the IRS. Let's figure out what they know about you. And sure enough, we did it. And guess what? He had income that he totally forgot about. He was just like, oh man, I didn't even think about that because it was so small. Literally, I think he worked somewhere for 3 weeks, but it was on paper and the IRS knew about it. And the minute we would have filed paperwork for his back taxes and not put in that little bit of money, it would have been a red flag to the IRS. And now they're going to come look at you harder because they're like, wait a minute, this person didn't report this income. So can we even trust the income that he's reporting for his business? He or she is reporting for his business. So you just want to make sure, do your due diligence, figure out if there's any other sources of income. Now, if we're talking about the current year, you're going to receive that paperwork in the mail, right? So if you worked somewhere else, you may receive a W-2, or if you were a contractor, you may receive a 1099. If you received unemployment, you'll get that tax document in the mail. So you'll just want to make sure you collect all that stuff. Now you really want to focus on what we call recreating your business income and your business expenses from those prior years. Now, this is a really tedious task. And if you hire an accountant or a bookkeeper to do this, it is going to cost you a lot of money because it's tedious work. We're talking about prior years, and we're talking about going through bank statements, we're talking about going through receipts. So it's in your best interest to sit down, figure out where the money was coming in, and hopefully it was a business bank account to make it very easy. But you want to capture and record everything that came in from business operations, and then you want to record everything that went out, and that's going to create your income statement, or what you may know as a profit and loss statement, your P&L statement. So that's essentially what you want to get to when it comes to your business return. And from there, you have pretty much everything that you need. And, you'll have some other tax documents that you'll want to include. So if you have a home, you'll want to include that tax form. You'll want to gather any information from the prior year that may help you with your taxes. So any interest payments, if you had stocks, if you were, if you sold some things, if you were in Robinhood or Bitcoin, whatever it is. And again, the best place to get this is from the IRS because they already know, right? So just get it from them. The only thing that they don't know is the income that you made from your business because you haven't told them yet. So that's what you're going to need. And that's what I was telling the hairstylist that I need from her. So do I think I'm going to get it? I don't know, because it's a lot of work. She wasn't even sure what bank account she was using 2 years ago. She wasn't, it's just a hot mess, right? But I think she's trying to get an apartment or something. So if she wants it, she's gonna have to do some work and figure out where the income came in and how much of it came in and how much of it went out. And I also had to warn her, as I'm warning you guys, when you are creating your profit and loss, when you're creating your income statement, you very well may have to owe taxes. There are a lot of variables. I know I've talked about it in another episode, but you just have to be prepared because the U.S. is a country where we have income that's taxed. So you have to go in knowing that. And if you're filing back taxes, be prepared for a shocker because if you owe, number one, you're going to have interest and penalties because you haven't filed on time, and that stuff accumulates. So you just want to make sure that you are prepared and don't go in thinking that, oh, I'm going to be getting refunds. You maybe, it's very possible, but also keep in mind that refunds are only valid for 3 years. So if you're filing for 5 years ago and you were due a refund, you forfeited that refund already. So just to recap, what you want to do is you want to have all of the sources of income that you receive for that year or the prior years that you're filing for. And you can get this information from the IRS. I'll leave the link in the description, and you just create an account with the IRS. And if you're able to get your transcript, it's called your wage and income transcript. If you're able to create an account online, they can give it to you online. There are some times where they cannot verify your identity and they'll need to snail mail you your transcript, and that takes a little longer, but it's still a very reliable way. After you gather all of the income sources that you had, you want to get any supporting documents. Like for instance, if you had a home and you want to include mortgage, if you were paying student loans and you want to include that interest, any type of tax document that may be supporting of that year, you'll want to make sure that you have that information. And then lastly, you'll want to make sure that you recreate what your business did income and expenses wise for that year. And then you are on your way to filing your back taxes. I hope this has been helpful, and if it has, please share this with a barber, braider, or hairstylist that you know that may find this helpful. And if you are a barber, braider, or a hairstylist about to file some back taxes, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. You can also reach out to me on IG. I am at @thehairceo_, and I'll see you on the next episode.